You're live, Mr. Chairman.
Lines running from the property.
You're live.
Soliciting people to buy insurance against water outbreaks and things.
It was a strange.
I'd like to call this meeting of the Roads, Infrastructure, and Public Works Committee for October 7th, 2025 to order. Mr. Allen, would you give the invocation again tonight, please? You're so good last time.
Bow our heads, please. Heavenly Father, we are here this evening to do the work of the county. We ask that you guide us in all our deliberations and everything that we do and say, because we are working for the county of Greenville and all the residents. Thank you for your leadership, thank you for your guidance, and thank you for all of your blessings. Amen.
Amen. A motion to approve the minutes as presented of the August 19th, 2025 workshop.
So moved. Motion
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
It passes. Okay, now we have number 4 is a cell tower moratorium. I understand we have some speakers here tonight for that. Mrs. Long, Chairman, Councilwoman Long, would you like to go first, please?
Sure. Hi, I'm Kelly Long, District 18, Greenville County in Greer, and I just wanted to provide some information about cell phone towers. If y'all would look, I think I laid them over there, but there's several folders there that's got information in it about research that I have done really over the past year. And I just wanted to point out some things in those packets. It's great information, but basically the effects of rapid growth of cell phone towers between 2019 and 2021 in the 5G movement requires more and more towers. And with each generation, it's going to continue to increase. Between 2019 and 2021, we've had 70,000 new towers go up. I appreciate you allowing me to speak, and I'm concerned about our communities and county. I just want to lay out some groundwork for you. In 1996, the FCC developed regulations for cell phone towers and wireless radiation radio frequency exposure from these things: 5G, cell phones, cell towers, Wi-Fi, and wireless networks. During this same time, the EPA was defunded and dismantled by Congress due to heavy lobbying for the Telecom Act. The time came of relaxed federal and state guidelines. So what happened? The EPA went away, and then cell phone towers came on the scene with basically very few regulations. In 2018, the NTP and NIH concluded that after a $30 million study that there was clear evidence that cancer was associated with exposure to these radio frequency towers, but the FCC rejected and ignored their findings. Our community, state, and county, or country, has been operating under these same regulations for right at 30 years now. So no change in regulations from 1997 from the FCC to now. There's no consideration for the increased levels of radiation. However, the technology has gotten smarter and stronger. This puts all of us at risk from a health perspective. In 2021, a nonprofit from Wyoming known as Environmental Health Trust, aka EHTA, sued the FCC on behalf of the American people and won. It was found that the FCC ignored all the scientific evidence and failed to protect the public. 11,000 pages of evidence was submitted showing the effects of increased radiation that cause the following things: brain damage, headaches, memory issues, reproductive damage, sterility, brain cancer, genetic damage, and also harm to trees, bees, birds, wildlife, and anything that lives outdoors. The FCC still has not responded to these requests, even though a lawsuit was won, and it's been 4 years. State and local governments have begun stepping up in our country, and they have a responsibility to step up and protect our community and ourselves. It is time that we develop a local strategy to protect our public health and those we serve. I would like to see a study done to this effect and believe a temporary moratorium would be needed in order to allow adequate time to develop a plan going forward for the entire process of cell phone review, installation, and approval in Greenville County. Everything I told you is in those folders. There's studies, there's lawsuits, and all that is in there. I think it's something that we have to do, and I've also provided the states that already have these ordinances in effect. We can learn from them, we can get information from them, and then also internationally, the countries, what they've had to do, because the governments failed to do this. And it's due to the profit. That's what it is. When there's money on the table for a person that puts a cell phone tower on their land, and then there's money on the table to be made at the government level and at the cell phone tower owner level and at the cell phone level, there's too many people making profits, and that's why the FCC has stalled on not, making any more guidelines, because they don't want to know the truth of what's going on. So the point was just to ask you guys to please consider this. Greenville County can be a leader here because we don't have any ordinance. Basically, somebody can come in, and it's happened, and you'll hear from somebody it's happened to in just a minute, but it's happened right behind me where a person just came in, got a permit. The FCC approved the plans. It was put up. The neighbors didn't know, and now they have a huge, ugly cell phone tower 20 foot away from their lot line. This doesn't just affect your health, it affects property values, it affects a lot of things, and we have them sitting right over our water supplies and right over our schools and our hospitals. There's all kind of implications there, so please consider looking at this for the betterment of our county. Thank you.
Mrs. Long?
Yes.
Does anybody have any questions, colleagues?
Any questions? Yes.
I got one. You telling me all my headaches are coming from cell phones and not just council?
Depends on how close you use them and how
Yeah.
long you use them. I would
No.
say, yeah.
I just want to make a cute joke. Yeah.
Exactly. It happens, though. Anything else? Alan, were you going to say something?
Well, I'm impressed with what you just said, and I would like to have some time to dig a little deeper in this, but
Absolutely.
it's rather frightening. I've been involved in installation of cell phone towers in other states, and I've always wondered how many we can actually put up. Now, the 7,000 number that you mentioned, was that statewide or just in Greenville County?
That was 70,000. That was nationwide.
Or nationwide?
Yeah, nationwide, 70,000.
Okay.
Yes. One other thing that I didn't mention here, and I meant to, the difference between a 4G phone and a 5G phone is 300% more radiation, and it's the same for the towers. And because 5G radio frequency doesn't travel as far, you're going to have more towers closer together, and I think you can see that happening already. So then they're going to have 6G, and then it's never going to stop. So there has to be some kind of regulation on it, because again, we're operating on right now under 30-year regulations, and things have changed, and the dangers have changed. So
Well, maybe that's the way we can stop the influx of population coming in. We limit the cell towers, nobody can communicate.
we need to go back to the
It's like,
BlackBerry.
we're out.
People will leave because of their cell phones.
And one thing I will add on a serious note is, I received money from the VA for exposure to these types of radio frequencies and cell frequencies and stuff. Like all those nice L3 Harris radios you get, they are just incredibly radioactive. And, so to say that this is all like a conspiracy theory, I can go ahead and tell you, like, it's not. like, otherwise I wouldn't be getting money for it.
Right.
So.
It is a health risk, and there's just all kind of things. This isn't part of this, but your house is full of it too, without the cell phone towers. I looked up, and there's 20 different items in your house that use Wi-Fi and router, and your microwave uses the same exact frequency as these cell phone towers, and we use them a lot. So we're not just getting it in our house, we're getting it everywhere we go. And I think you can see, if you look at the number of cancers and things going on, things are contributing to that. So I think we need to definitely do something to look at it. So
Well, I appreciate you bringing this to our attention.
thank you. Appreciate it, guys.
Thank you, Councilwoman Long. And we have another speaker that would like to come up, sir. Just give your name and address for the record, please, and we'd love to hear from you.
Good evening. My name is Frank Tamburello. I'm president of the Saddle Creek Homeowners Association. We're a small development, 40 homes, family-friendly, located in Greer in Greenville County. I'm here to support Kelly Long's proposal for a moratorium on new cell phone tower developments. Last April, Tony Langford surprised our development with a 200-foot cell tower immediately adjacent to our community. This was without any advance notice or our opportunity for discussion. Coincidentally, 2 homes went up for sale within days. The first at 108 Saddle Creek got a full price offer from out-of-town buyers within days, which was typical in our community prior to this. However, when the buyers came for a walkthrough before closing, they saw the new cell tower and literally ran away. The listing pictures were taken just prior to the cell tower construction, so it was a complete surprise. The second home, 216 Saddle Creek, suffered the new cell tower literally within feet of their rear property line. I mean, literally feet behind their property line. After 5 months on the market, the home finally sold, but about $75,000 below the previous market value, which is the value that homes within 2 or 3 houses had been selling in the previous months. So this is a drastic change due to the cell tower coming up in the backyard. The Homeowners Association offered to join that particular party in legal action against the offending parties, but after discussion, they decided to take their lumps and just get away. And so nothing was pursued legally at that point. Another property is under construction at 209 Saddle Creek across from the new cell tower, but the new owners are debating if they'll ever move their family into the home because of their concerns. The last empty lot in our development is located at 221 Saddle Creek. The lot was cleared just prior to the new tower construction, but construction has never begun on that particular lot now. So months ago, an event resulted in one party, receiving a very lucrative contract arrangement, and the other, my community, being cursed with an eyesore and potential health hazard. While apparently legal, it's just not fair. Needless to say, my community has been struck a blow and is upset. So I am here tonight to advocate for a 180-day moratorium on new cell tower developments, including modifications to existing towers. This would allow proper time to structure new legislation with appropriate safeguards and considerations and prevent further encroachments.
Thank you very much, sir. Any of my colleagues have any questions? Do you still live there?
Yes, sir, I do.
Are you planning on selling your house?
No, sir, I'm retired and don't look forward to another move.
Okay.
But if this
Sorry
was
for
in,
that.
I'm across the street and about 3 lots down. If this were in my backyard, I'd seriously consider an accident happening to the cell tower.
Oh, all right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'd like to hear from the county attorney's office on this. If you could just give us a little on the legality of it. I know the county attorney himself had sent some stuff to the council. I read it and had some concerns as to the legality of with the FCC and the moratorium and some other stuff. So I don't want to get too deep in the weeds, but could you brief us up on that, please?
Certainly. And, yes, and speaking to our speakers this evening presented several great points as to why this has become an issue, and it is not one that is only felt by Greenville County, but it is a growing issue throughout municipalities in the United States and even our colleagues throughout the state. We were asked to try to get our arms around the legal environment of how we might be able to not only enter a moratorium, but to explore a more permanent solution for the placement of cell phone towers modification so that we don't have surprise situations where people are taken back or surprised by towers being erected in places where they either shouldn't be, or legally can be, but aesthetically or zoning-wise, it might not be the best choice. Similar to what Councilor Long had mentioned, the FCC does provide guidance, at least from the regulation of cell phone towers from the functionality side. And so that's the direction where we went, because that's largely what has commenced in litigation as far as the moratorium side of things. I understand that there is the health side as well, and that's one that would need some more exploration. But the environment where we find ourselves is the Telecommunications Act of 1996 did start to provide an overhaul of the telecommunications industry. The FCC has stepped in by issuing, specifically for our purposes, a moratorium order of 2018, and that gave advice, or that gave direction of the policy of the FCC as to the way that they viewed moratoria. Long story short, they are not favorable to it. That resulted in litigation. This was, granted, this was in the Ninth Circuit, which is out on the West Coast, but still there is a Court of Appeals case that said that the FCC's take on moratoria is, at least in the way that it was construed in that case, valid or upholdable. So that leaves us in a place where we have federal law that is saying one thing about the regulations for these, and obviously that would preempt us entering into this area. But then we also have the state of South Carolina, which has entered a legislation called the Small Wireless Facilities Act, which specifically says what municipalities, including Greenville County, could do with the areas that we own as the county. Rights of way, bridges, waterways, things like that. So there, we have in our study found places and municipalities that have enacted moratoria as part of a larger, comprehensive restructuring of their, specifically their zoning and aesthetics type ordinances as the long-term fix that they found. But that would require, for our purposes, more study and more research. We've reached out to regional council to try and get some advice on what a moratorium might look like to successfully navigate this thicket. And they even recommended that we seek national counsel, just given the complexities of this area. It's very specialized, and it is one that if you don't have your ear to the ground with it, you might miss something. And so that's predominantly our concern with just a blanket moratoria at this time. But it is one that I don't see as insurmountable. It's just something that, at least from our office's standpoint, we'd like a little bit of time and direction from this committee to what you would like us to do, or what direction you would like us to take this in, whether it be the health aspect, the zoning aspect, or where we would ultimately like to go with it, or y'all would like to go with it.
So help me understand the application process for that they apply to the county.
Yes.
Then basically they meet the codes, the building codes, and they can build. We don't have anything that says it has to go through county council or CAL or any kind of committee approvals or anything, correct?
The cellular tower permit, by the time it is received by the county, it has already been through federal review, and also for the FAA included.
Right.
So it's already been through a few layers of federal review before it even comes to us. So by the time it comes to us, it does sometimes go through the BZA in order to get a variance for the construction if it is a new cellular tower. There's the permits that get issued require varying degrees of steps depending on what they're doing, whether it be a retrofit, whether it be adding new receivers.
So can the BZA say, no, you can't put it there?
The BZA, if it's based on traditional zoning that we already have established, then they have the chance to provide discretion to that permit process. But oftentimes it's in the unzoned parts of the county So there is, to Councilor Long's point, they don't have necessarily a tool to deny placement of this if it's in a specific area.
So we could as a council though enact something that said, hey, any structure over 30 feet or 20 feet would need reviewed by county council, not just the BZA.
We could.
We could look at some solutions, I guess, is what I'm asking.
Right, we can
have
look at
some
solutions,
workarounds.
particularly the most promising ones that I've seen are involving zoning. And so that's an area that I would like to explore more. I know Councilor Long mentioned health aspects, and so that's something that I could look into as well, as to what would allow us the toolbox, so to say, to
Okay.
regulate where we'd like to see cell phone towers
All right.
progress in this county.
Do any of my colleagues have any further questions?
Make a motion to hold.
Okay, I would ask to make a motion to hold it. We'll ask that, and I would like to ask the county attorney if we do hold it, in fact, that at the Ripple, we'll schedule one for the next county in 2 weeks for the 2nd October, and then if you could back brief us on.
Sure, and what
Speaking
would,
with higher
what direction
counsel.
would this?
I'll get with you
be like?
afterwards. We'll get with you and
Okay,
give you some direction.
certainly.
We'll speak with Councilor Long and see where we move forward. So there is a motion on the floor. There's a motion to hold. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, the motion is held, and then if you would, we'll get with you afterwards in 2 weeks. We'll send you a scope of what we're looking for. Sound good?
We'll be happy to do whatever we can to support
Okay,
and
awesome.
help out with this.
Any of my colleagues have anything else they'd like to add or say before we, looking for
Yes.
one more? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, so I've been getting a lot of calls from Botany Woods. Apparently, there have been a lot of flood mitigation projects going on. They keep on getting kicked down the road. I would just like for us to do a double check on that and just see if we can expedite anything. Just want to put that on your radar, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, here's what I'll do. I'll speak with Heisha Gamble, and we'll get a brief on that for the next, Nicole, can you make that happen?
Making a note right now.
Awesome. So for the next, in the third week of October, we'll get a brief from the Assistant County Administrator for Roads and Public Infrastructure.
Thank
Sound
you
good?
so much.
You're welcome. Anything else? See you in 35 minutes, or like 5 minutes, I think.
5 minutes.
All right.
All right.
This, we're adjourned.
Motion to adjourn, yeah.